you ever wanted a mower that doesn't mow the grass and a go-kart that tries to kill you any opportunity it has? Well, look no further than the MowerQuad. It's a 1969 MTD 5-horse rug mower body put on top of a Chinese mini quad chassis with a Predator 224 with a Mikuni on it to power it. Follow along to see the build process of this and also some ride clips at the end. Thanks for watching. So we got here this Predator 224. This one is a pretty bone stock Predator 224. This is what's going to be powering the lawnmower ATV thing for now. I have a brand new CVT, brand new VM22 with a foam air filter, just regular cast aluminum intake manifold, and I get to assembling all this on this motor, and then we're going to put it back in the chassis of the cart to start mocking up my running boards and my clearancing for the fenders and tires and stuff. Alright, so with the motor fit up, I was a little bit concerned about the clearance between the carburetor and this body panel here, but it looks like I have just enough clearance to where it's not going to be an issue. My floorboards, whenever I put them on, they are going to be severely hampered by how far out this engine case sticks out, but you know, there's only so much I can do about that. This side, I already had a torque converter on it whenever I mocked it up the first time, and so that should be good. Chain alignment should be all right and everything. So I think next thing is to try to cut the floorboards to where they fit, or maybe mount some steel for the floorboards. I'm not sure yet. Or maybe even build an exhaust for it. We'll see. So my plan is to cut the flange off the stock muffler, put it, and then weld this one to it, and then it's kind of hard to see. But this bar actually gives me the perfect angle to miss the chain and then just route the exhaust behind the motor. So that's what I think I'm going to do now. And then if I have enough time today, I'm going to work on the floorboards later. That's a scavenged exhaust flange. Oh yeah, you can see that there. It should be clarified, I've not run this motor since I actually broke the can on it, so hopefully it's still good. Let's get replaced with this dude. So I got the exhaust all tacked up. There's a little bit of interference here with the frame, but I think I can either beat in this frame rail or beat in the exhaust where it won't be an issue. Now I think I'm going to start on the floorboards and get those worked up. Alright, so these are the floorboards. I cut these off another mower and shaped them up pretty nicely, but now I got to clearance them for the motor. I'm thinking we just need to go pretty heavy cut, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. I don't really know how I'm gonna cut this. I guess angle grinder, but you know, that'll be all right. It's a fine point pin. Let's see what happens.
So I got this side cut out and it fits pretty good. I kind of like this because this will serve as like a Nerf bar when you're running through trees and stuff. So as long as I don't get my foot smashed here between a tree and a bike, then you know we should be okay. All right, so I've got my floorboards done on both sides. I've got essentially these tabs and this plate here with rib nuts installed in, and then this just goes in there, bolts on. It's clearance for the motor up here. Same thing with the other side. Now the next big challenge that I have right now is that I need to figure out controls for this thing. Currently I am planning on using a foot brake by relocating this master cylinder and then having a foot brake on the passenger side. But problem with that is this torque converter really takes up a lot of space on this side, and then the chain's going to make it even tighter. So what I may do is actually just have a handbrake that I can rip like a drift stick, and that may alleviate some of the congestion around here, especially if I possibly put it up on this top rail of the bike. The issue with that though, with the like grab handle, is that you're going to want to end up hitting your steering wheel all the time whenever you're pulling the brake. That's something I'm going to have to figure out whenever I get to that point. Freehand it. So this is the very early rendition of this custom throttle I got. You saw me earlier machining this block and also turning these parts on the lathe. So what I'm gonna do is make a steel plate here that I can weld to that collar there, and then that's gonna be my actual throttle. On the back side of it, I'm gonna have some sort of collar for the actual like throttle bracket, or the nub on the end of the throttle. And then attached to the bolts on the back side of it, which is why they're through bolts, I'm going to have the actual bracket that holds the throttle cable. This way I should be able to like maneuver the throttle throughout any of the range of motion throughout the steering, and it should be pretty alright. So here we have the semi-finished product of the throttle for the mini mower. What we got going on here is pretty much to just cut this out of the Chinese ATV throttle. We got the stop underneath here that's attached to the bracket. And then, yeah, it just mounts to the bar right here, and I've got my full range of motion. Went ahead and finished the exhaust. So now we have the stock muffler to keep it nice and quiet so I can ride it in the yard, no problem. The throttle's pretty much done except for a coat of paint. I just knocked off some of the edges on there and it looks okay, I guess. Next problem I'm trying to tackle, I need to build a lockout so that these tires don't hit the bottom of the body and chew a hole through the tires. Alright, so I got the lockout bar tacked up and installed. I'm probably going to leave it tacked because I do eventually want to put suspension on this. But like I said, I need to space out the wheels. Also, if it's going to fail, it's going to fail in compression by buckling this bar in the center because it's a real thin wall tube. If that happens, then we got a whole other set of issues. Alright, so I'm officially in the home stretch of getting this thing running before I can ride it. The brake is officially mounted. I've made 3 of these stupid little aluminum blocks, but it locks up the rears with me sitting on it. It sort of matches the other one. It's a little wonky looking, but you know, I need it to work, so who cares. Got the brake and throttle cable run together so that they can actually will allow for some turnage. Alright, so I'm filling this up for the very first startup of the MowerQuad. Hopefully this fuel tank doesn't leak. Oh god. That was cool. I guess we're gonna let off gas before I try to... Alright, take 2 I guess. I cleaned up most of the gasoline. I'm gonna just pull it through a few times. Alright. Wow, that was the noisiest experience I've ever felt in my life. First test drive. That didn't go very far. Alright, so 2 main issues arose from that test right there. The first was the chain was too loose. As soon as I tried to give it gas, it just bogged and tried to die on me. The second main issue that arose from that is the jetting is way too lean. So what I'm going to do is back these adjusters off, so that I can push them forward and possibly get rid of this half link that I have in the chain right now, and then just tension it with the factory mini quad tensioner. Hopefully that'll at least get us by for today. It worked on the mini quad, so it should work on this. And I have jets that came with the carburetor, so I'm gonna jet it up 1 or 2 sizes and hopefully get it running right. This is the jet that was in it, and has no indication of what it is, so I guess I'm just gonna have to guess. But luckily, I've got a whole bunch of guesses. So my closest guess to the jet size that was in it is a 95. So I'm gonna go ahead and put in a 105. Test 2. So far, this thing is a freaking nightmare. Playing around with it on camera, I've already cut myself wide open. I don't even know what I cut myself on. There's 2 main issues to this thing performing really well so far. First thing is this seat. The seat is just a spring, so you end up like throwing yourself off it if you ride with any kind of like intensity. The other thing is being locked out in the back and then full suspension in the front. The whole thing is super tippy and none of it's dampened at all, so you end up like falling off at any given time. Also, it doesn't really drift, it just wheelies all the time, which is also not my favorite thing in the world because I want this to be like a drift mower. Brake needs bleeding some more, but you know, that's a pretty easy fix. But the biggest thing is fixing that seat. That seat is a death trap. Right along, baby. And it's gonna rain. despite all this machine's, we'll say them character traits that it has exhibited this far, I would still consider this a success. This is actually a project that I've had going on for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, 4 years in the making. I've had that body now for at least 4 years, and I've always planned on doing something like that with the mower. I think the most immediate improvements I can make are the seat. The seat will make a big difference. Lowering it more so that it actually wants to slide instead of just tip over, and also just safety proofing the thing a little bit, like putting fenders and some sort of like foot guard so I can't get my feet in the tires all the time, which was a big issue I was facing. And with all those things combined, I think this will be a pretty formidable machine and just like having fun in the grass. It's got plenty of power. It's way too fast. And I don't know, I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah, if you got this far in the video, I really appreciate you watching. These are really just a thing for me to do to have fun. There's not really any sort of ulterior motive here. These are things I was already doing, and I just decided to film it for the hell of it. So thank you for watching, and have a good one.